This conference will now be recorded.
So, in today's class, we are going to see the next concept called as here the selection with joins. Select a query using the joins. So this is the one. So till now we have seen how can we retrieve the data from one single table. How can we retrieve the data from one single table is what we have seen. And in today's class we are going to see how to get data from multiple tables. From multiple tables we are going to see. So now, as I told you, SAP ECC will support only inner join and the left outer join. Inner join and the left outer join. It will not support any other thing. It will just only support the inner join and your left outer join. So now, whereas SAP S4 will support inner join, left outer, right outer, then union and union all. Union, union, and union all. So these are the joins that will be supported. So this we will be seeing when we started with our S4. So now let's see how can we work with our ECC system. Now, so ECC, select a query will be, select a query will be, so select, so now previously, we used to write the field 1, field 2. Now, right now, as we are going to use multiple tables, you have to write table, so table 1, and you will be having a field, you will be having a symbol called as tilde. Below your escape, you can able to see it. You have to press your shift button and you have to press that button. I mean, you have to press both at the same time, then you will be finding out your tilt field 1. So then the next field, what is your next field? T1 tilt field 2. The next field is T1 tilt field 3 and so on. From this table, whatever you want, you get the data and then T2 tilt field 1 comma, sorry. Then I'll be going to show you the new syntax, how you have to write it. T2 tilt field 2 comma T2 tilt field 3, T2 tilt field 3, and so on. So like this. And then if you have a third table, then you have to go ahead and write the third table field 1 and T3 tilt field 1 and so on and so on. So now once you have done this, from you have to write the table, you have to write from T1. So the T1 inner join or whatever the join condition. So whether you have to write the type of the join, the type of the join. So to T2 on which field? What is the comparison field you want to check? So so let's suppose for I want to check for my VBAK and for my VBAP, for example. So what is the common field in those two tables? If I go to SE11 and if I open VBAK, so you will be opening the table and at the same time I'll open VBAP and you can able to see you can able to see this. So in these two tables, the VBALN is the common field. The VBELN is the common field. So if you know the common field, you go ahead and write down the logic. If you don't know the common field, then you need to check with your functional what is the relationship between these two tables. So that's called as your foreign key relationship, or that's called as your foreign key relationship. So here also we will be using the foreign key relationship. So now T1 till T1 type of join T2 on field. What is your field? So T1 tilde field 1 is equal to T1 T2 tilde field 2. Let's say I'm going to take this one, T2 tilde field 2. Like this, if you have any other condition, so and if you have any fixed values also, you can put your fixed values. Field 1 is equal to, if you have any fixed values, so like your comparison value should be this one only. Let's say for example, for my, if I go to VBAK, I want to check for my VBTYP is equal to only the sales orders, only the sales orders, or sales document type is equal to only OR. Only OR I want to get, I don't want to get any other things. So in that case, you can able to write your fixed values over here directly. And then we will be going and writing on the next join. So what is your table? Whether you want to go ahead and compare with the T1 with the T3 or T2 with your T3. So I want to compare with the T2 and the type of your join, type of the join, and then I'll be just saying it as T3, whether it can be. So you can use one inner join and one left outer join also in one of your selection query, or you can use both the inner joins. So, or you can use one inner join and one left outer join, or you can use all the left outer joins also. Nothing will happen on T1, sorry, T2 field 1 is equal to T3 tilde field 3. So you have written your joins and from which tables you want to get the field, and then into table GT underscore into table, you will be writing your internal table with where conditions. If you have any where conditions, you will be just writing it, or if you want to just provide up to 100 rows, you will be just providing up to 100 rows. So however it is, okay. So this is what you will be writing your select query. After this, once you got the data, what you will be doing, you will be displaying the data. You will be displaying the data. So now this is what you are going to do it in case of your selection query with the joins. Now let's see an example program. So slash OSC38. So now GR7AM example program on joins. So I'm going to take this as click on create, and then example program on joins, and I'll going to take this as executable program, and then I'll be going to save this, and I'll be providing my package. Sorry, I'll be just providing my package, and then I'll be going to save that in my TR. Okay, so now what is the requirement? Okay, so my requirement is get the data from the following tables. From the following tables. What are those tables? VBAK, VBAP, and MARA, and KNA1. KNA1. So these are the tables. So now, what are the fields I needed? From VBAK, I need VBLN, ERDAT, ERDAT, ERNAM, VRNAM, and then VBTYP, VBTYP, and the next field is AUART, AUART, VKORG, VTWEG, and then SPART. And then from VBAP, I just need what are the fields I need? POSNR, MATNR, POSNR, MATNR, MATNR, CHARG, MATKL, MATKL, CHARG, MATKL, PRODH, ZMENG, and ZMIENE, ZIEME, ZIEME. So these are the fields. And then the next thing is from your Mara table. So what are the fields that I needed from my Mara table? So Mara, I just need MA, uh, MTART, MATKL, and MBRSH. So these are the fields I needed. And the next one is I just need from what is the next table? So KNA1. So I need name 1, land 1, ORT01, and PSTLZ postal code. So name 1, land 1 is our country, ORT01 is our city, and PSTLZ is our postal code. So these are the fields I required. So what is the first thing you need to do in the old syntax? You have to create your types declaration. Types declaration. So now if I go ahead with the types declaration, so types begin of gty underscore the final and end of gty underscore the final. So now what I'm going to do, whatever the fields I want, I'm just going to write down that. So or else you can just ask SAP to do this. So pattern with the fields from your structure, and then VBAK. I'll just go ahead and select everything: ERDAT, ERNAM, AUAD, AUADT, sorry, VBTYP, AUART, VKORG, VTWEG, and SPART. These are the fields. Now let me copy this, and I'm going to say this as I don't need this. So now I'll cut this and I'll be pasting it over here. So now I'll just remove this one. Now next, pattern with the fields from your structure, VBAP, and then I need POSNR, MATNR, CHARG, CHARG, and then ZMENG, ZMEINE, PORTH. So these are the fields I needed. So now copy this, and then I'll just copy this one, and I'm going to provide it over here. So now let me delete this one. And the next one is for my Mara table, pattern with the fields from your structure, and then Mara. And here I want MTART, MBRSH, MITKL, BSIMT. So let's take, I'm just going to take few more fields, MEINS. So copy, and then I'm just going to have my Mara, add this and paste it over here. So the next one is from my KNA1, from my KNA1. So now I'm going to take this with fields from your structure, KNA1. So now land 1, name 1, ORT01, PSTLZ, REIGO. So region also I'm just going to take it up, whether he what in which region he belongs to. Now I'll just go ahead and paste it over here. So that's it. Now remove it. Now do your pretty printer. I just want to change the order of my fields. I want my Posner to be come up at the starting at the second position, and then I want the material details. Okay, MTA, RT, BSA, MT, MA. So now here I want the Kunar also VBAK. So now here I want Kunar KUNNR type VBAK hyphen KUNNR KUNNR. Now do your check, and that's it. Now do your pretty printer. So now however I want, I just placed my fields in this order. So this is how you have to create your types declaration, and then you will be going to create your data declaration, data declarations. So I'm going to have my data GT underscore final type standard table of gty underscore your final, and then I'm just going to take this as gs underscore final. As you know that you can declare that in inline, so I'm not going to do that one. So now the next thing is your select a query. Select a query. So I'm just going to write select whatever the fields I want. I'll just copy the fields. So shift alt shift right arrow and then down arrow and then down arrow. So now just do a copy of this one, and then I'll be going to paste it over here. So I'm not going to write for multiple times, so that's the reason I just written it over here. So now here, so this is from your VBAK tilt VBALN, and next this one is VBAP tilt POSNR, and this is from your VBAK. This is also from VBAK. This is also from your VBAK. This is also from your VBAK. This is also from your VBAK, 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 and this is from your VBAP, 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 and this is from your Mara. I know the table name, so I'm just writing it up. Mara, Mara, Mara. So this is again from your VBAK, and this is from your KNA1 tilt land 1. So let me copy this one. So I'll just writing it on my 4 tables joins. Okay, so this is what. Now, once you have got your fields, then what you need to do, you need to you need to write your join condition. You need to write your join condition from what is my primary table VBAK in a join VBAP on VBAK VBAK tilt VBALN is equal to VBAP tilt VBALN. So if you have any other fields, you can just write down that. But I know we have only one common field, so I'm just going to write down that one common field. And then again in a join VB next the Mara. So next the Mara table in a join on Mara on VBAP tilt MATNR is equal to Mara tilt MATNR. MATNR. And next, what is the next table in a join? KNA1 on VBAK tilt KUNNR is equal to KNA1 tilt KUNNR. So KNA1 tilt KUNNR. So these are the join conditions. I know the join conditions. So if you don't know, you have to just check with your tables what is your join condition. So if I go to my table on my VBAK, let's say for example KUNNR. So this is your sold to party. If I go with your foreign key relationship, see here they have relationship with your KNA1. they have a relationship with your KNA1. So the same relationship I have maintained. VBAK Kunar is equal to KNA1 hyphen your Kunar. So that's what the relationship is. So mostly you can find out on your foreign key relationship. If not, you can just check with that. So I have told you. So when we are treating with your joins, there are some reference fields. There are some reference fields where you can store whatever you want. So sometimes you will be storing delivery number, sometimes you will be storing sales order number, sometimes you will be storing both the joining of sales order and delivery number by giving a by giving a separator in between that. So like that you will be excuse me, like that you will be storing that field in the reference, but for that reference you won't be having any foreign key relationship. So if you don't know, we don't if you don't know, you have to always check with your functional. So what is that relationship between these field? Excuse me, guys. So what is the relationship between these fields? You have to check with your functionals. Now once this is done, so now I'm going to take so into table uh, gt underscore final gt underscore final. So if you have any selection conditions where I'm just going to have my selection condition, so we need to write here before your selected queries. So remember that. So selection screen s let me take this as vko rg. So what I'm going to take mm, select options s underscore vko rg for gty underscore final. I'll just going to have my this one. So one second, I think we can directly write from the structure also. So gty underscore final hyphen vko rg. Now when I say click on check this, mm, okay, it's not working. So now what I will do, I'll go ahead with creating of a variable. So gv underscore vko rg type vko rg, and I'm going to use that over here. So in yesterday's class, I have already told you how to work with your this thing. Okay. So now here you will be writing with your vbak tilde vko rg in in S underscore VKO RG. You need to write this one. I told you this is an internal table with your header line. So if you want, you can just write order by VBALN, sorry, VBAK tilde VBALN, comma VBAP tilde POSNR. So I'm just going to write by sorting statement also. So sorry, this is your old syntax. You can't able to write your order by. So once you write your new syntaxes, then only you can able to write your order by. So this is what. So once you got your data, now when I click on check, no issues, I'll just activate the code till now. Now displaying of your data. So display the data. So I'm just going to use the class method cl underscore demo underscore output, and then I'll just display. I'll use the display and I'll pass my internal table. What is the internal table? GT underscore your final. So that's it. Now do your pretty printer and let's get activate the code. So now when I click on execute, I'm not going to pass anything. When I say execute, see here, you got all the data by joining with your sales order number, item number, ERDAT, ERNAM, and all your fields. with all your fields table, we have received the data. So this is how you need to write with your joins. So as I told you, loop at internal table into work area is what we have to do it. But and you have to use your write statements. So that you guys go ahead and practice it. I'll be just writing with cl underscore demo underscore display. So cl underscore demo underscore your display. So that is what I'm going to write down that. So now let me close this. And now if you just provide any sales organization, let's say I'm going to provide 1000. So we don't have any results. Let me click on F4. Okay, let me go to 2300 and just click on execute. So you will be just getting only the data for your 2300. You will be only getting the data for your 2300. So this is what you need to do it in case of your joins. So here, before that, I'll just say if psi sub rc is equal to 0, then I'm going to write down with sort gt underscore final by vbaln and posnr, and then delete adjacent duplicates from gt underscore final comparing VBALN and POSNR. So that's it. Now do your pretty printer and let's activate the code. So that's it. So this is how you have to do this in your old style. So now coming to your new style. So as you want to go ahead with your joins, so you don't need to create your types declarations and your data declarations. I'm just going to add this one, and then I'll just going to say data. So because I have to use this in my select options, now whatever the fields you have, put a comma separator, a comma separator. So from, so this is the same into at the rate data of gt underscore final, where here also you have to use your hosting variables at the rate. So that's it. So that's it. Now I'll just go ahead and say order by VBAK tilde VBALN VBAK tilde VBALN comma VBAP tilde POSNR. POSNR. So here I'll just go ahead and use the word distinct. So to remove your delete adjacent duplicates and your sorting. So now this is the code you have to go ahead and write down. That's it, simple code. You don't need to write your types declaration as well as your data declarations. So when you will be writing your types and data declarations, now if it is one join condition, then you don't need to write down your types and your data declarations. Now, multiple joins you are doing it and you are filling one final table. So if you want to fill one final table by passing the data from multiple tables, by passing the data. So for example, let me go to my paint window so that I can able to explain you. So now I have a internal table 1, internal table 2, internal table 3, and internal table 4, like this. So with the help of these internal tables, I want to fill one final table, one final internal table. Now this final internal table, for this I need to create my types declaration and data declaration. I need to create my types declarations and your data declarations. So in this only the scenario where you will be creating your the types declaration, the types and your data declarations, and in rest of all the scenarios you don't need to create your types as well as your data declarations. So this is how you have to write down your joins. Any questions, guys, in this before we go ahead with the next thing? Any questions?
Any limitations on these joints here?
Yeah, I'm going to cover that in tomorrow's session, the limitations
Okay.
of the joins. So for the to avoid that limitation, we will be going to use the for all entries select query. So that's a
Mhm.
final select query what you are having, but that only limitates to in ECC. In ECC, you always need to write the queries in for all entries only. In for all entries only. Whereas in S4, you always need to write with joins. You always need to write with joins. So as I told you, in S4, everything you have to push to your database. Everything you have to push to your database. So whereas in this, everything will be happened in your application layer. For all entries will always be done with your application layer. As I told you, you will be having your presentation layer, you will be having your application layer, and you will be having your database layer. So now the joins when you're writing a selected query, so the join thing will be happened at your database layer. Whereas when you write your for all entries, you will be getting the data into multiple internal tables. So that internal tables processing will always done at your application layer. In ECC, the size of your the memory size of your application layer is huge when compared to your database layer. So in database layer, in order to process the data, you will be having a database memory. So this memory is very small. This memory, as you asked this, I'm just covering the issue. What is the issue with your joins? So joins will always done at your database. So in ECC, the database memory is too low. So now when I go ahead and write the joins on 10 tables, for examples, I have written a joins on 10 tables. So you can write the joins on 10 tables or 20 tables. SAP will not stop of writing it. Now, but these 10 table joins, let's say for example, your country, your company is located at 52 countries, and let's say in India at the same time, so 10 people are running the same program. People are running the same program, and people are running the same program. So that means how many times, so 10 into 10, 100 joins will be happen, which it can't able to take it up. So the system performance will be reduced. The system performance will be gets reduced, and it will go for a runtime errors too. A runtime errors. A runtime errors like time limit exceeded. So these are the things which you will be seeing. Time limit exceed, and you will also see one more error called as what is that, database memory is too low. Database memory is too low. You can't able to execute any transactions. You can't able to, the other people can't able to execute any transactions. Why? Because the database has been occupied by for these 10 people, and it is trying to join the data, and it is trying to join the data. Once the database entire thing is gets cleared, then only this database memory will be up and it can be utilized for the other people. So these are the issues that will be come up in your ECC system. In your ECC system, whereas in HANA, the database memory, so we do have something called as, this is your physical database. Before this physical database, you will be having something called as your in-memory database. In-memory database. So that we will be calling it as RAM. So in layman terms, I'm just saying this as, if you take your laptop, we will be having a RAM, right? So like this, the entire data processing will be happened in your RAM. the processing of a RAM is almost like 10,000 times faster than your physical hard disk. So that's why when this is the Word document I have opened. So if I open the Word document for the second time, within a fraction of seconds, it will open. Now, if I open, let me take the paint. Already I have opened the paint window. Let me take the Excel. So for the very first time, it has taken 2 seconds to open it. Now, if you go to second time and if I open the Excel within a fraction of seconds, it will open your Excel for one more time. It's open the Excel for you one more time. So like this. So the processing is going to be done internally in your RAM. The RAM is very much faster, and this is a volatile memory. When you shut down, it will just clear the entire data in your RAM. So that's called as your in-memory database. In-memory database. So that's why I told you the configuration of your I don't know whether I have told you or not. So if you take the configuration of your ECC on your personal laptop, if you want to install your own server, if you need your own server, so you will be just having 16 GB and one 512 GB SSD is sufficient for your SAP ECC system to be gets installed or to be gets running. Minimum basic, I'm saying this is the minimum basic. Whereas for your RAM, at least you need to have uh, uh, 40 GB of RAM and 2 TB of your physical hard disk. 2 TB of your SSD is needed. 40 to 50 GB of your RAM is needed. 50 GB because it has to store the entire data of your whatever the data which is there in your physical hard disk has to be entirely stored in your RAM. It will be using some techniques, and it will be storing the data in a compressed format, in a compressed format inside your RAM. So that's the reason for RAM it will be almost like 50 to 60 GB in real times. When you take your original system, if you check with your basis, it will be almost like 2 TB or 3 TB of RAM they are going to use it. That's the main reason HANA is very, very costly. SAP S4 HANA system is very costly when compared to ECC because of your in-memory database. So the entire processing will be happen in memory. So here you can write how many joins you want, you won't get any performance issue. So that's the main reason. So in S4 you have to always use with your joins. In ECC we have to always use with your for all entries. Clear Girish?
Yep, yep. Clear, thanks.
Yeah. So this is the main issue with your joins. So the database memory is low in ECC. To avoid that, to avoid these runtime errors, we will be going ahead with your for all entries. Now, let me take an assignment. What happened? Why it's not connecting? Let me close this and open this for one more time. Okay, my drive is not connecting. I'll just keep the assignments once it is once my drive is up. So and then or else I'll be writing the assignments in the tomorrow's class at the first thing, and then we will be going and starting with your for all entries. Okay, now. So Bindu, you have a question, right? So in yesterday's class, you are saying so you ping me and you told me that there is an issue in your program. Let me check that issue. So I'm just going to SE38. I'll just say, what is your program? Can you ping me the program name, please? Or can you spell out the program? Assignment 4. Yeah, this is the one. Okay. Inactive version. Okay, let me go to my change mode. Check this. Okay, so now see here what you have done it. So you have taken only few specific fields from your EKKO table, but you are referencing directly to your EKKO. So now in the EKKO, if you just go to your EKKO table, let me parallelly open this session. That's why I told you, for whatever the fields you are going to take, for this you need to create a structure. You have to create your structure. So now if I open that in SE11 and EKKO. So now SAP will consider the fields in this order. SAP will consider the fields in this order. So now the first field is EBALN, it is correct. So the second field is BUKRS, it's correct. The third field is BST. You have not taken your BSTYP. So now it is BSA RT you have taken. So that's the reason. So now BSA RT, BSTYP. So you are comparing with AEDAT. The field order is you are going to change this. You're changing your field order. So that's the issue over here. The database or the resultant type of aggregate is not compatible with BSTYP. So this is your BSTYP field is not compatible. You are checking for your AEDAT field, which is of your DATs, and BSTYP is of your CAR1. So both are not compatible. The date and character are not compatible. So here what you need to do, you just need to remove this and you have to go ahead and create a inline declaration for this, or else you go ahead and create a types declaration and data declaration and use that over here and use that over here. Now let me check this one. So now
Okay.
here, sorry.
So every time we declare a standard, we take data from a standard table, the structure should be the same in the select query, right?
Right, see, however you are going to write the fields. See, if I go ahead and write down my program right now. So if I go ahead and check my program right now, the joins, whatever I have created, the joins, let me click on the change mode. See, I have written in the same format, and the field order is also in the same format. I didn't change the field order also. If you change the field order, you will be facing the issue what you have seen. The order of the fields must be the same how you have been declared in your types declaration. But when you are going with your inline, so it will automatically create the internal table. You can go ahead with your whatever the order you want. Whatever the order you want, you can go ahead with that. But when you are referencing to your any structure, so I'm referencing my internal table to this structure, or if you are referencing to the structure of SE11, the order has to be followed in the same pattern. Okay, clear?
Okay. Got it. Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Ravi.
So that's, yeah. So that's the issue. And now the next thing is when you are writing an inline declaration after your the flower brackets, you have to put your this, and then you are going to concatenate these two fields. So the where is the concatenation one? And you are going to do it with a pipe symbol. So you have to put your pipe symbol in a single quotation, and then you also need to put this, and you have to close this with your pipe symbol. So this is what you have to do it for your concatenation. Always remember that when you're writing that in your flower brackets, you have to keep your space. You have to always provide your space at the starting of your field and at the ending of your field. So now this is the one, and you have to do this one, and at the last you need to keep your full stop. So now do your pretty printer, and now let's check this, no issues at all. And every time remember that you have to always please comments. Comments are most important. Why I'm keeping the comments in every program when I'm declaring my types declaration, when I'm creating a data declaration? So comments are most important. If you're not going to write the comments, we are not at all going to accept your code, because there are some complex logics where you will be putting your brain or brainstorming, where you will be doing your brainstorming for 2 to 3 days to figure out that complex logic in a easy way. So you know that logic. So maybe after 2 years, when that program has came up into support for you only, you will also get confused what I have written on that. You will also get confused what you have written on that. To avoid that unnecessary confusions, if you are writing any complex logics, we always keep that in your comments, so that not only you, the other developer will also go ahead and read the comments, and he will understand what exactly you have written in that code. Okay, what exactly the build of logic you have done it. So that's the reason you have to always keep your comments. The comments are most important. Okay, so please write down the comments when you are writing down your code. Now pretty printer, and I'm activating the code too. I'm just activating the code too. Now, when you click on execute, it will be doing that. It will be showcasing that in your output. So try to do it with your old syntaxes also and your new syntaxes also. Don't practice only the old syntax. Don't practice only the new syntaxes. I'd always suggest you to practice the old syntax and new syntax too. Okay. So any other questions, guys?
Thank you.
Okay, I'm considering it as no more questions, and we'll meet you tomorrow at the same time, and we'll continue our session. Thank you. Thank you all.